Spring has sprung, and on our little homestead, that means that there is no slowing down. This time of year can turn out to be quite the busy season, but there are also many reasons that it turns out to be a very beautiful season. The longer days spent outside call for planting and gardening, finally getting around to a lot of outside maintenance, and welcoming new additions. That being said, we are surely not lacking on adding to our homestead. All right, so we are about to head to the post office because our next project is sitting up there waiting on us. I will say that I checked tracking this morning and it said that they were not supposed to be delivered till tomorrow. So I thought I had one more day to get a little bit more prepared. So we're kind of doing a little bit of preparation along with picking the things up. So let's head out and get both of those things accomplished. All right, so our first stop is good old Tractor Supply. We gotta go in here and grab a few things. One of those main things being shavings. So I'm gonna keep the camera in the truck because I already got my hands full with 5 kids and then I'm gonna have to use both of those hands to load up the stuff. Actually, the perk of having 5 kids is that somebody is willing to do something. So my oldest daughter loaded up everything from Tractor Supply and then we were headed off to our next stop, which was the post office, to get our newest additions. This is our first time using a pool as our chick brooder. What we typically use is like a Rubbermaid tote or something of the sort. If you are bringing chicks home, whether they be meat birds or just birds that you're gonna keep for laying eggs later on, check out the video that I'll have pinned at the end of this video. I think we put too much shavings in our pool. Whoopsie daisy.
I did my research, and adding a little bit of apple cider vinegar to their water, because they had such a long trip, this will encourage them drinking, and it'll also give them immunity boost.
Just a tad, like a little tiny.
Yeah. There you go.
That's it. Well, I'm sure by the look of the box and the loud chirping sound that you were able to guess that it was some type of bird. And if you know just a little bit about me, you know that I am not bringing home any type of bird unless it is a chicken. We picked up and brought home 30 Cornish cross hens, and just like we would do for any chicks that we bring home, we are getting them all set up in their brooder. A brooder is basically a space for small chicks for their first couple weeks of life. This time I tried out the kiddie pool method and it wasn't too bad. They spent about 2 weeks in here before they figured out how to get out of it. Once we got it full of shavings, we made sure to introduce every single chick individually to the water so they all knew where to drink from. I ordered all these chicks from Cackle Hatchery. This was my first experience ordering from them and I am a satisfied customer. So after all of that running around that we did today, we were 100% sure that we had everything that we needed to bring chicks home because this is not a new thing for us, all right? This is not our first rodeo. Until we got home and we realized we forgot chicken feed. So back to Tractor Supply we went, and when you have 5 kids in tow, it's hard to go into Tractor Supply and leave without more chicks. I mean, the logic I like to live by is what's one more? Now you know why that thought process has got me to almost 6 children. The more the merrier around here. So on this day alone, we brought home 30 meat chicks and 6 new chicks that will become laying hens later down the road. All right, so I'm taking a walk to go check on Clarabelle this morning. We got a bunch of rain last night. I feel like these are undesirable conditions to have a calf in, so I'm like, with her not being in milk, she's not coming up here as early because she knows the routine. She knows if she has to be milked that she would make her way up to the stanchion first thing in the morning, and she knows that she does it again in the evening. It took her about a week once we dried her off to realize that she didn't need to come up there anymore. So she makes her way up pretty slowly in the mornings, and then she just gets like a little treat and water and all that good stuff and says hey. So I'm gonna go find her this morning. I don't see her anywhere. All right, I see her and I see Clancy. Oh, she just got up. So today is, what is today's date? Today's the 29th because her due date is the 30th. So her due date is tomorrow. Hey girls. Look at them pretty girls.
So the pretty girls walk like this.
What you think? You want to have a calf today? All right, go on ahead. Go on ahead. Not only do we know her due date, but you can tell that they're about to give birth because their vulva will swell up a little bit. Her udder's definitely getting fuller. So, you ready? She'll have like a little discharge come out of there, and that's when you know it's go time. She's about to have a baby within the day. So that's what I've been looking out for. Trying to feed her feed. I ain't trying to feed you out of the bucket. It's a mess out here. There you go. While we're out here, not only is Clarabelle due to have a calf here in the next like 24 to 48 hours, Clancy is also going to be having a calf, and she is due 1 month after Clarabelle. So with that being said, this was not planned. We wanted to wait till Clancy was at least 18 months before we decided to get her bred. However, with the Jersey breed, they can go into their heat cycle early if they are exposed to a bull. And of course, we had Mr. Moo here to get Clarabelle pregnant. And it was right before he was about to head back to his own house that one of our kids accidentally left the hot wire off, and she plowed through it like nothing to get to that bull. So my husband was actually pulling up to the house from work and he saw it in action. So we tried to split them up immediately, but clearly what was done was done. And here we are, Clancy is expecting her first calf, and she's gonna be due to calf 1 month after Clarabelle. So her due date is April 30th. So that's the birth that we're really gonna wanna keep an eye on. Not only is Clancy a little on the younger side, but this is her first calf, so we really wanna make sure that we're there in case she needs any kind of help or assistance to give birth. We are getting prepped and ready for this calf that's going to be coming. We got stocked up on alfalfa hay for after Clarabelle has her calf. Alfalfa has high potassium, so you don't want to feed too much of it before they calf. Consuming large amounts of alfalfa before they calf can lead to things like milk fever, so we want to avoid that as we can. So we're sticking with our regular hay until then. It has been super exciting and suspenseful being on baby watch for Clarabelle. Of course, we're excited to meet the new little calf, but I think that we're all more excited as to what that's gonna bring for us. We haven't had raw milk on our homestead since January, so while yes, it's a huge task added on to our morning and evening routine, I can definitely say that we are so excited to have raw milk flowing here again on our homestead. All right, we planted our garden probably a little over a month ago now, and we started a lot of things from seed. I actually had a good friend of mine give me a lot of her seed starters because she did not have enough room in her garden, so we actually were off to a good start. A couple of staples that are in our garden are definitely peppers, tomatoes, corn, beans, cucumbers, and then we have a little bit of extra stuff like eggplant, some various types of lettuces. Of course, we have our herb garden, which is in our raised beds. We have quite a bit in our raised garden, but I'm more excited about our chamomile and our calendula, definitely lemon balm. That's a favorite every single year. And 2 new things that we are trying this year are our tomatillos and some cantaloupe. So we'll see how those grow. Also, we can't forget we are growing watermelon and zucchini. Zucchini is actually a huge crop for us, so those are pretty much the only things that we're growing in our garden. There was a couple of seedlings of tomatoes that just kind of halted their growth, and I want to make sure I get all of my slots filled for tomatoes because we definitely go through the tomatoes the most. That's probably the plant that I have the most of. So I picked up a few from a local nursery and we're going to get those planted today. If I'm being honest, I could not tell you how many chickens we currently have, especially since they became full-time free-range chickens. They just kind of go about their day, do their own thing, but they make sure to go back to the coop and lay plenty of eggs for us. My kids actually show some chickens in our local county fair, so we got quite a few added to the bunch with those chickens, but then some of those chickens are going to soon leave our flock when they sell them at the fair. But also out of that bunch, we were left with quite a few roosters. And not that it's anything out of the ordinary, but of course they were not the kindest roosters at that. So between all of our laying hens, we also added on those meat chickens. Of course, those meat chickens are only going to be on our homestead for a little while until they get butchered. They are growing pretty fast. We kept their kiddie pool brooder in our shed. And if you follow me on any other platform, then you know that my 1-year-old got his own little batch of chicks. So that just adds to the head count of how many I don't know we have. And they kind of float around, do their own thing. So you see that there's one here with the meat birds. These meat chickens will soon get transferred over outside and into their own chicken tractor, and they will be due to get processed in May. So we will be adding a lot of chicken to our freezer, adding Clarabelle's calf to our homestead, and then eventually Clancy's calf, and then a baby of our own. So I guess you can say that spring is absolutely a busy season for us. We would love it if you subscribe to our channel and just keep on following along with all the things we've got going on our homestead.